If you are a parent, you will know two things about children. One, that they are like little feudal lords that live in your house. My 1-year-old is like a dictator, albeit an adorable one. And second of all, that they are very expensive. The average household will spend £260,000 on their child getting them to age 18. So that doesn't leave a lot of money to plan for their future with. However, the good news is that children by their very natures have a vast time frame ahead of them. So in this video, I'm going to tell you how small amounts of money can make a huge difference further down the line. And in particular, the example of £120 a month producing two capital tranches to them in life. One at 18 of about £30,000, which can be used for university fees or a house deposit, and a second tranche closer to retirement at 57 of about £1 million. Now, those parameters can be adjusted, and we'll go through some examples for those who have smaller or larger budgets, and also depending on the age your child is now. As a financial advisor, I thought I best set up something for our tyrant. Just, you got a little bit just on the whole of your body. So I set up a junior ISA. Now a junior ISA functions like an adult ISA. The money that you put into it is free of all tax, and it can be invested in cash or stocks and shares. But given the long time frame to 18, it would typically make sense to aim for high growth, given the time you've got to ride out any market volatility along the way. Now, there is one concern with a junior ISA, and that is that the child can access the money in full at age 18. It becomes an adult ISA, so you lose control. And the concern for some parents might be that your child lives like a Mesopotamian merchant king for 2 weeks and spends all the money. And there are alternative options if that is a concern to you, or you think you might need the money in that first 18-year period. Bearing in mind, a junior ISA can only be set up by a parent or a legal guardian, but once it's set up, anybody can fund it, like a grandparent, up to the total allowance of £9,000 per annum. Let's go through some examples. In the one I gave earlier of £120 per month, £60 a month of that is going into the JISA. And I've assumed a growth rate of 8.5%. So this would be a high equity, perhaps a global equity stocks and shares JISA. The MSCI World Index, for example, has produced about 10% a year on average. We're using 8.5% per annum. And that will generate around £30,000 by age 18 if you do it for 18 years. But some other examples, if you were to invest, say, £20 a month at 8.5% per annum for 18 years, that still generates around £10,000. Or if your child is, for example, 3 already, so there's only 15 years of funding at £60 a month, that will generate around £21,000 by age 18 at £8.5% per annum. If you are concerned about your child spending money like a Russian oligarch, what you could do is keep the money in your own ISA if you have allowance left. That will give you full control. But the downside is that will give you full control, and it means the money's not as protected from it being used for something. But it does mean that if the money's needed in the first 18 years, let's say for school fees, then the money is accessible. Or alternatively, if you want more of a concise solution, one where money can go in, be controlled for the child, and be taken out past age 18 or before, you could use something like a discretionary trust. If you'd like to know more about that, please ask in the comments below and I will answer. Now, developed countries at the moment have a huge problem. We are facing in the UK, as are many other countries, declining birth rates and an ageing population. And that shift in demographics is putting huge pressure on the state pension and will continue to do so. We are below replacement for the population. And therefore, the government are encouraging private pensions to fund the future of our children. You can really help your child here because small amounts of money going into a junior pension or a junior SIPP can build up over the time frame to the access point for that child, which is currently 57, a huge amount of money. Now, to explain how this works, if you set up a junior pension, junior SIPP for your child, and you pay in £60 per month, the government will add money to that. That's tax relief. and they will add £15 to £60. So £75 would go in every month. You can add a total of $2,880 per annum, and the government will top that up to $3,600. So you're getting money from the government added to yours. In the example that I've used, £75 per month, that includes the top-up, for 57 years at 8.5% generates about £1 million. So a small amount of money can create an absolutely huge amount of money, capital, at 57 to really secure the later life of your child. And the benefit is the child can't access that at 18. They can only access it currently at 57. Let's use some examples here. That figure assumes that you fund all the way from 0 to age 57, £60 a month. Bearing in mind that even once the child turns 18, you can still fund their pension. It will be their pension, it'll be an adult pension, but you can fund it up to £3,600 under the current rules. Now, if we change things slightly, and let's say you funded to age 18, and then you stopped, and that pot of money just grew until age 57, it would still be worth north of £700,000. Or, as a different example, if you funded just £20 a month, and that was grossed up by the government to £25 a month, then over the 57-year time horizon, they would have north of £300,000. That's just from £20 a month. So really, when we're talking about long-term pensions and the growth that you can achieve from compounding of interest, you can make a substantial difference to that child in a world where we might not have a state pension. A quick point on setting these up. Again, only the parent or legal guardian can set one up, but again, anybody can contribute to it, including grandparents, once it's set up. Again, the maximum is $2,880, grossing up automatically to $3,600. The child must be below the age of 18 to set one up. When they become 18, it automatically becomes an adult pension. And there's no end to platforms that you can use to set them up quite cheaply. There's AG Bell, Hargreaves Lansdown, Fidelity. There's lots of options. The dealing fees are typically very low. And through these platforms, you have access to a suite of funds to choose from. I hope this was useful. If you like this channel, please do subscribe. Thank you.